Alrighty guys, welcome back to another amazing video. I am currently in California, so no longer Hawaii, and I'm chilling at my beautiful fiance's house, who's right over there making a YouTube video for her channel. But it's currently 7:34 p.m. so still doing videos at sunset time. And I like doing them around this time because like I finish my usual work day, and now I just sit down, relax, make content, and just make videos that I enjoy making. So I like doing that at 7:30, 8:30-ish, sometimes even later. But to each their own. I know a lot of people like making content like early in the morning, like 9 a.m. Sometimes like I wake up at like 9 a.m. So I just don't. But anyways, so this video is going to be really cool. So I was on my iPad. I was thinking about some YouTube ideas. But first off, before I was even doing that, I was kind of reviewing my offer. What I recommend for everyone watching this is reviewing like their own offer every like 2 weeks. So you can even put on your Google Calendar 5-minute offer workshop with yourself. So then every time before your work, review your offer. And this helps you make content that, steers towards the right direction, that is associated with your client avatar, that makes sure that you're talking about your funnel, your unique mechanism, and just stuff like that. So that's basically what I was doing. And then after that, I'm like, oh shoot, I should make a video on this, because I just realized how simple my freaking offer is. And the more I make these YouTube videos, I'm like, wow, like people need to know about how cool this offer is, and just like how simple it is. I pretty much like it's as simple as it looks on the outside. I just run super simple, ads on Instagram, make content that I enjoy making, make sure I'm talking to my ideal client avatar, and also above all, just make sure you're having a really good foundation with delivery, and actually deliver really good results, which I do. If you go to my highlights and obviously this YouTube channel, like my offer, it's helping online coaches scale to 20 and 30K a month in pure take-home profit with the lifestyle coaching business. So this video is in direct correlation within that, because it's like the lazy way of scaling your coaching business. And a few disclaimers too, like this isn't lazy in terms of like you won't have to do any work, but you don't have to do anything that most of the market and most of the industry is telling you to do to scale to 30K a month, let alone take home profit 30K a month. Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna go over it on my whiteboard over here. Hopefully I clicked the right one. Oh, nope. There we go. Also, if you guys hear some sirens and some stuff in the background, don't mind that. Hopefully you guys can still hear my voice. I might remix this on Adobe Podcast to make sure my voice is a bit more crisp. Unfortunately, it makes me sound kind of weird, but it's better than hearing the sirens. Hopefully you guys don't hear that anyway. But anyways, so what I'm gonna go over is right over yonder. So it's basically the lazy way of, I'll put in quotations, scaling coaching biz. Cool. I'm actually gonna do this sideways because I'm charting this. Sweet. So what that goes over is the one of everything. So the one of everything. What I mean by that, and why this is so incredibly simple, is because it goes over one team member, one ad funnel, one platform, and one client's avatar. And this equals 30K a month in take home profit. So this whole entire process is so freaking simple, and I'm gonna break down each tier of obviously the one of everything, to go over what you don't need and why you just need pretty much one of this. And what this pretty much does, it makes sure that you have high profit, because you don't spend a lot of money on, let's say, ads, complex funnels, multiple team members. And also you have a leverage on time, because you don't need that much time to make this work. You don't need that much time to make 30K a month in take home profit. So you have more time to make content you actually like. You have more time to scale further if you wanted to. And let's say like you actually did want to build a big team instead of like one ad funnel or one team member. You can do that, but it's way easier to start here then build a giant team, have to fire everybody, drain the business, have to go on a a 2-month break. Now your leads are fatigued. It's way easier to do this and then get to that point rather than going to that point and going lower, let's say. So let's break down one team member. So the one team member is an acquisition. Hopefully I spelled that right because I never spell that right, which is funny. Acquisition manager. So an acquisition manager is very simple. It's basically like a appointment setter. But in this way, they're more involved in your business. And this is what I've been doing for like around a year to 2 years now. Like not only is my setter doing stuff like DM setting, managing KPIs and so on and so on, he's doing more. So he's involved in the community. So he's doing like group calls for the community. He's answering Slack messages. He has his own section about DM setting, and pretty much everything acquisition based. How to manage lead quality, how to make sure you have a higher show up rate, and also like he's really good at tracking your numbers. So an acquisition manager, they should be really good at the technical stuff. Me, I have no idea. Well, not no idea, but I just suck at being like super technical, especially when it comes to tracking stuff. So he handles that part. I'm pretty much like the face. So if you want to look at it as like a business partner, it's kind of like that, except he's just managing everything acquisition based. He has no equity in the company, and you actually build real synergy with your business, together. So what the pay grade looks like is 7% plus bonuses. And that's pretty much it, because you want to look at your setter / your acquisition manager as like someone that's the backbone of your business, because they're seeing everything. They're seeing the leads that come in. They're seeing, the conversation that comes in. They see the warmth of the people that are actually coming in as well. So like they're a very important puzzle piece to your business. Like they're almost like the engine to your business. They're like you're supplying leads, but if you suck at DM setting yourself, and it's gonna be really hard. Alongside that, if they're good at what they do, it's gonna be way easier to close these leads because the conversation flow and the nurture process in the DMs and on Instagram was way smoother. So that's like the one team member you pretty much only need when it comes to scaling your coaching business, because you don't need a closer, because at this point your acquisition manager is really good at nurturing your prospects, and also I'm assuming you're pretty good at making content, so they're pretty much nurtured already. There's no need to have a closer. And also, we're not optimized for like 500K a month at this point, so you don't need a giant team anyway. So that's why that's my one person. So that's the one team member. So you don't need a closer, you don't need, a CSM, because he's also handling some group calls as well. So there's more access within it. Lean, high profit, great results. So that's the one team member. Then the next thing is the one ad funnel. So we're going to do profile visit ads. I would say profile visit ads are the best ads to run in 2025. The reason why I say that is because, everyone's trying to build a personal brand. Everyone's trying to, be one step ahead of somebody, nurture people like crazy, make sure people buy right away. But people can't do that, if they have no idea who you are. I see so many ads that are great, but I'm sure they're super, super expensive because they're either a DM ad, they're either, a VSL ad, or, a Typeform, whatever ad. It's just way too complex. And when people see your ads, that's usually like the first time seeing you, unless it's of course like a retargeting ad, but that's usually like the first time they see you. So the chances of them actually clicking through your bio and watching your 30-minute VSL and then booking a call and then buying from you, it's a very, very low chance, which is one of the reasons why people hire closers, because they themselves are not really good at closing. So I need somebody to close cold leads and almost force people to buy their product. I don't like doing that. I don't like forcing people to buy anything. I'd rather attract people, which is why I switched my whole entire model to doing this. So what profile visit ads allow you to do is optimize for easy yeses. Profile visit optimizes for an easy commitment, which is drop me a follow, so they then follow you. And if you want them to DM you or watch the VSL, they can do that, because if they visit your profile, they're following you, they're watching your content every single day. You're popping up on their feed every single day. So that goes into also posting consistently, which you probably are already doing. Now, where people get it wrong is they run DM ads, and the person that did DM them has no idea who they are. And you have amazing content, and they're just like, that's 80% of this whole entire game, nurturing people. Getting top of funnel is very easy. It's really easy to get leads. But where people go wrong is they don't know how to nurture. and people just don't know how to get people to actually see their stuff. This is why I like Purple Visit ads, because it equates to everything that you want them to do anyway. If you want them to DM you, they're going to do that because they watch your profile, they watch your content, they already like what you do. Same thing with watching a VSL. They're of course going to watch your VSL if they like your content, they like your style already. So if you can get people to actually consume your content and follow your profile, you're going to win the game because you're actually nurturing them. You can even kind of look at it this way. If you have a step-by-step, funnel when it comes to ads, like Typeform ad, then VSL, then email list, and then phone setting, like it's way too complex. People kind of know that game. That's like 2016, I would say. Even though I wasn't really starting my business at 2016. But anyways, yeah, it's super outdated and it's way too expensive. I was talking to my friend around like a few years ago, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm getting a $400 cost per book call." I'm like, "Dude, that's crazy expensive," and his offer price tag is like $3K. That's a crazy markup. Imagine like the cost per acquisition. And I think he was even struggling with sales at the time. So he's probably getting like a 1.5x return on just, ads in itself. So that sucks, and like my cost per book call was like $100 and my closing rate was around like 60%. So it's super cheap. You optimize for a personal brand, which is like the biggest thing nowadays. I think that's like what a lot of people preach. And even if you wanted to close in the DMs, you can definitely do that because people are already pre-sold. So profile visit ads are like the biggest thing right now because it nurtures everything. It trickles down to pretty much everything that you want your leads to do anyway. So no complex funnel. This equates to follow, to watch content, to then trickling down to anything that you want them to do. DM you or watch VSL, because at the top of it, you're optimizing for easy yeses. No one likes, oops, I spelled easy yeses. There we go. You want to optimize for easy yeses. So like if you're forcing someone to watch your VSL when they have no idea who you are, or open your email when they again have no idea who you are, the chances of having a higher conversion above like 30% is really hard. Ryder just jumped in the pool, but anyways, focus, guys. You're gonna optimize for easy yeses. So what you want them to do instead is follow your profile, and if they watch your profile, they do that on their own. You're not forcing them to do anything. They watch your VSL because you're posting consistently. I hope you guys are at least. And at that point, they're pretty much ready to buy because you're actually nurturing them. Look at all the top people in the space. They have amazing personal brands, and they definitely have an aspect of organic marketing because they know the value of having easy yeses and nurturing their prospects. So that's what we're doing instead. So the next thing is the one platform. So that's like the third thing. So one platform. I think most people kind of know like sticking with one platform, but they don't really understand why to do that. Because of course, like if you want to spread out your content and have more content on TikTok, on Twitter, you can definitely do that. But you don't want to be in a position where you're chasing so many rabbits and eventually you get like barely any of the conversions that you actually want. I much rather be an expert at Instagram, and also in this case, I also nurture with long form on YouTube. I feel like YouTube is like an outlier because like it's long form. And you can't really do much long form on any other social platform, but YouTube is the outlier. You can just take note of that, but stick with one platform. You don't want to have shiny object syndrome. You just want to stick with one and be an expert at one. So simplicity scales, complexity fails. So take note of that. So my platform is Instagram ads, or more so just we said ads already, so I'll just do Instagram, and then plus if you want to do long form, you can do YouTube as well. But even so, like if you want to stick to just doing Instagram, a lot of my clients are the fitness coaches, trading coaches, relationship coaches, wellness coaches, mindset coaches, like all of them, they've made 20-30K a month in take-home profit with just Instagram and running simple Instagram ads. Like even the big dogs as well, like Shelby Sapp and what's his name, Sam Millsap, like they barely started a YouTube channel after they were doing like 300K a month. So stick to one platform. It's the easiest. You don't need to do complex stuff. And when you're doing 30K a month, like you pretty much just need like 2 clients a month or 2 clients a week, Because let's say you have an industry standard of like 30% closing rate, that's 6 book calls in a week. So that's one every other day, or one every day except for Sunday. You close 2 of them, you're already making 30K a month. And there's way more than like 2 people a week going on Instagram that are exact client avatar. So keep things simple. You don't need a giant platform. I feel like I don't really need to elaborate on this part. But yeah, that's why I choose one platform. And then the next thing is having one client avatar. I remember I was on a call with a mentor of mine, and I told him my client avatar. I was like, yeah, dude, it's online coaches that want to scale to 20 and 30K a month. And he told me, he was like, dude, that's way too broad. I'm like, how is that broad? Like it's literally online coaches, Like I thought I was being super specific. I was even saying, yeah, high ticket coaches, they're making around 5-10K a month. Like I was even being specific at that point. But something you need to understand with having a client avatar is you need to understand everything, like their psychographics, their market characteristics, like everything. Don't just leave it at that one liner that you have in your bio. Most people at 10K a month, they don't need to niche hop or figure out if their offer is validated. They've already sold a large amount of people, so they pretty much just need to scale to 20-30K a month. They might just suck at finding a fulfilling way to actually scale their offer. Like you need to talk about topics that actually resonate with your client avatar. Don't just have your client avatar in your bio and just hope and pray that they're optimized just because of your bio. So when it comes to your client avatar, you need to go deep. So market characteristics, also pain points, and also like what are their personality traits. Honestly, this is like the most important one too, because I know I talk a lot about like coaches at 10K a month or my exact client avatar, but I get a lot of people, I'd say like 35 to even 40% of my clients that do come into my program, like they're like at zero, they're beginners. But the reason why personality traits is a big deal is because your client avatar just isn't somewhere in the market of, let's say they're making 10K a month, they need help with leads, they need to have a better fulfillment strategy or whatever it is. Like my case, I help people scale with a lifestyle coaching business. You don't just leave it at that. You want to go deep into the personality traits, because at that point, if you're scaling somebody and you're helping somebody at complete zero, they have the tenacity and they have the same personality as you to even scale to 20 and 30K a month. You're not targeting like brain dead people, or like super unqualified people that you don't want in your program that, kind of infest the entire Slack channel. I've unfortunately have done that, and I've learned my lesson doing that, and it sucks. So when it comes to their entire personality, like you are an emulation of that. So for me, I like traveling. I have a fiance. It's also no surprise how a lot of my clients, they're in relationships, they love traveling, and alongside that, they're already making good money with their business. And if they're not, they have the same values, and they have this tenacity to scale to 20 and 30K a month. A few of my clients, a handful of them, they scale from zero, complete zero with no offer at all. You can look at my YouTube channel, and they scale to 40K a month in a matter of a few months. And the reason for that is because of all 3 of these things. They have the same personality as me, so they're going to listen to me. They see the stuff online that kind of speaks to them as well, speaks to their pain points, so they're more inclined to listen to me as well. So there's no doubt when they actually take action. So keep that in mind too. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to the client avatar, so you want to look at your client avatar as a pyramid. So for me, online coaches, so I'll put online coaches. And I'm helping online coaches build a lifestyle coaching business. So that already, disqualifies and removes every single person that doesn't want to build a lifestyle coaching business, because the other half is focusing on building a giant team. So already I have complete market share on the 50%. So you can say lifestyle coaching. And then here it's big team bro scaling. So already I'm having 50% of this market opposed to the 50% that I don't want anyway. So within my content, it's actually resonating with the people that enjoy their life. They want to build something to where they can travel and still build their business and make super high profit. Not saying that the left side doesn't, but you just don't have enough time, and it kind of sucks building a giant team when you don't really need to. Alongside this too, there's people in different segments of the pyramid. So some people, if I were to use revenue as an example, zero, let's say like 5K a month, 10K a month, and then maybe like 50K and above plus. And I'm targeting people at, you know, this range up. So I already have like 15% of the market that I only need to talk to. Once I realized that, I'm like, wow, I don't need to go viral. I don't need to have, videos that get 100K views, because that's only going to hurt my business. Because if I'm getting 100K views, probably like 1,000 of them are only my exact client avatar, opposed from me just making value-based content that actually speaks to my audience. Like, I'm making videos that talk about how the 100K month goal is the stronger life, because it's actually like 30K a month in take-home profit, and you're sacrificing a lot of time and barely any leverage when you can just scale a lifestyle coaching business and just make the same amount of money and have so much time to just live your life. So at this point, I'm already targeting the people that I want from the very get-go without disqualifying the DMs and making it really hard for my acquisition manager. Alongside that too, if I was targeting everybody and anybody, my content wouldn't resonate with anybody, because an offer for everyone is an offer for, obviously nobody. Because if I had in my bio, like, I'm scaling coaches, or I'm scaling like business owners more so, it's going to be a lot of friction because there's not one exact ICP. So this has helped me so much, and I didn't just leave it as I'm helping coaches scale to 20 and 30K a month. I realized their market characteristics, their pain points, their personality traits, and also keep this pyramid in mind as well, because I'm only targeting this small amount of people opposed from the entire market, which I don't want. So I don't need to go viral. I just need 2 to 3 clients every single week to live my dream lifestyle. So this is like the easy way, and aka the lazy way, of scaling your coaching business, rather than building a giant team, having complex funnels, being on multiple platforms, because I'm just wasting time if I do that. Also, if you guys want to know more of what I do and you want to see if I'm actually credible, I've been doing this lifestyle coaching business for around 2 to 3 years now, before it was even called lifestyle coaching. You guys can look at my content on YouTube, on Instagram. Check out all my highlights. I've scaled, fitness coach to 2K from 10K a month, or 2K to 10K a month. I've helped multiple fitness coaches, trading coaches do the exact same thing. Mindset coaches scaled from 0 to 20K a month in a matter of a few months. And if you guys want to work with each other, DM me Nomad on Instagram. I'll give you a whole entire game plan, a whole entire roadmap on how we're going to help you scale. And then we can even hop on a 10-minute call to, actually enroll you into the program, because I help all my clients one-to-one on how to scale to 20, 30K a month profit without having to do any fluff, so you can actually enjoy your life. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.